Hi everyone, it's Phil from Ashland Leather, and I've got a bunch of stuff to show you today. I wanted to show you some of the flash sales that are now completed. This is a couple items here that have just recently sold out. What else do I have here? Oh, I also have some upcoming flash sales, but I'm gonna need your help to tell me which one to run first. I've got three really cool wallets that I'll let you pick what will be up next. And then I've got a batch of stuff that will be shipping out today, so maybe one of your wallets is in this video. But first off, I really wanted to document this beautiful Color 8 Chrome Excel Tony the Ant, and the leather on these are just so nice. So thank you everybody, probably people that watch this video. Thank you so much for picking these up. I think you're going to be really happy when you get these. I just think they turned out really well. And in particular, I really like the sort of cross section on these with that waxed burnished edge and the Color 8 coming through on the edge. I just thought really nice and clean. And I also really appreciate all of your support for these Johnny the Fox as well. So this one is the 100% brown Chrome Excel, as you can see. Brown Chrome Excel on the inside is really cool looking. This is a heavy wallet. The Chrome Excel is just more dense than most leathers because it's more than half grease, wax, and oil, which actually makes it just feel really great as well. But it's a really dense, really satisfying wallet to pick up. So thank you for also supporting us on these. Now let's move on here to some potential flash sales. So I've got three different wallets. I'd really like to get sort of a vote going from you guys, maybe in the comments here, of what you'd like to see next. So one of the options could be this Slate Vintage Johnny the Fox. I put this up a couple weeks ago, and I didn't realize that people liked this leather because it had been available on my site. I just don't think I did a good enough job promoting it. But I really like this texture and color. So the vintage leather is something you may not have heard of. Vintage is actually a variant on the Essex leather from Horween. It's actually very similar to the Dublin as well. So it's a vegetable tan leather where we finish it with an application of a harder wax on the surface, and that's where you would get Dublin. But on the vintage, we actually polish down that wax even further, so it's a smoother grain on the surface, and then we apply sort of a white hazy wax to the surface of that again, and then give it a little bit of a tumble. So you get this really interesting sort of snow-capped mountain look. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's really cool white chalky look on top of that black. So if you're looking for a gray, I think this is about the best gray that you can get in any vegetable tan leather. Most veg leathers tend to be earth tones, and because of the white wax on top of the black, we're able to achieve a really cool gray look here. Now the second option I have is also a really cool wallet. This one is a Johnny the Fox in natural shell Cordovan. Check out how sweet that shell is on the back. I love those random variations in the shell. But this one I left partially unpolished on the inside because I really liked the bloom. Either way, this one's Johnny the Fox natural shell Cordovan with a Color 8 shell interior. This is the second option that I'll let you guys vote on. This one on the left here, I did not polish. So what you're seeing that kind of looks like mold, it's not mold. Those are actually the waxes coming back to the surface of the leather. You can see on the right side here, I gave it just a very quick brushing, and it cleaned up all that very quickly. And I'll do that again here on the left side, but I really wanted to show you what this bloom looks like. So the bloom happens when leathers that have a high concentration of waxes, greases, and oils go through a state of temperature change. So I've noticed it happen in the wintertime here. When the weather gets pretty cold, sometimes in the workshop here, it might go down to like mid 50s or 60s. And that starts to get the wax to come back to the surface. And then when it heats, the ambient temperature in the room heats back up, I start to see the bloom appear. It's almost like it's wringing out the greases from the leather when the temperature changes. So check this out. I'll just rub the top surface here. And you can see immediately that the wax comes right out. And let's give it a little brush too. So you can see the waxes are starting to come out. The brush I've got here is a very fine brush. It's not really good for removing this much wax. So I'd probably take this to a different brush, but you can see it comes out right away. But it's actually a cool thing because the Chrome Excel and Shell Cordovan were originally marketed as self-polishing, and it was because of this reason. there's just so much wax in it already that you'll never really need to apply much of anything on top of it to keep that bright, shiny look. All right, here's your third option for potential flash sale coming up. This one is something that you may have never seen before. This is marbled cigar shell Cordovan. So the cigar is a rare color in itself, but the marbled cigar is also really cool. It's a little bit like Color 8 marbled, except it's more orangey and more green. This one has a special surprise on the inside as well. It's actually reverse cigar. So we're starting to see more of what the color of the cigar is. It's a brown with more greenish yellows to it, as you can see on that left side here. Gives you a really good sense of what the dye mixture is on the cigar shell. So this is a really cool wallet as well. I don't know which one I would pick. I think all three of these are really amazing, so I'm going to leave it up to you. There's the three options here. Let's go over them again. We got the Slate Vintage John the Fox. We've got the natural shell with a Color 8 shell interior and the marbled cigar shell. Now we are on to some of the stuff we're sending out today. This is one of the last days that you'll be able to order to receive your item before Christmas. And depending on where you live, we've noticed that the post office has been pretty backed up, so I'd be a little hesitant to promise anything that's not in my control. But I wanted to show you a couple special select items from what's going out today. This is a Bugs Moran in natural chrome excel. I'm a huge fan of everything going on here. I love the size of this Bugs Moran. It fits perfectly in your hand. The natural chrome excel is super nice. Everything's great. Here's a Frank the Enforcer in a really nice piece of natural shell Cordovan. Here's another Frank the Enforcer. This one is a black marbled shell Cordovan. And if you're not familiar with this one, there's the 2 card slots on the front, 1 card slot in the back, and this large slot in the middle holds US dollars folded in half. Now I just had to show you this machine gun jack because it's in a rare magenta shell Cordovan color. Check out how cool that color is. I realize that sort of a vibrant purple pink shade is not for everyone. But for me, I've seen so much leather, I think I'm skewed to things that are just more different. So I really like this color, and what I think is really cool about it is those stains we were talking a little bit about earlier on the cigars, where you can see the staining on the wrong side is that really vibrant purpley pink shade that I think is really cool. Last up here, I have a Whiskey Shell Cordovan Fat Herbie. This is a really good looking wallet that has been personalized for MAS. And if you're not familiar with the Whiskey Shell, this is one of those rare colors that a lot of people seem to want to get. It's more of a golden, yellowy, darker shade than natural. That is really, really nice. So thanks again for checking everything out today. I really want to get your feedback on these flash sales here. So please let me know which of these you would like to see up on flash sale next. We got that Slate Vintage, the natural shell with Color 8 interior, and the marbled cigar shell with a reverse cigar interior. So thanks again for checking it out, and I'll be back again tomorrow.